The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everyone, Dan De Silva here, and welcome back to another IMA awesome workshop that we're holding here today. So I'm excited about this one. I have Anthony with me here today again, and we're going to go ahead and really crank out some more content. Anthony, are you here?
Yep, I'm here.
Cool. So guys, if you can, give me a 1 in the chat box right now. If you can hear me loud and clear, if you can hear Anthony loud and clear as well. One's in the chat box. Okay, Sandra, one. Okay, cool, perfect. So this is a good sign. This is a good sign. Very good sign that people can hear us. All right, so what I'm going to do is actually turn it over to Anthony, and we're going to do it just like we did last time, where we're bouncing back and forth while pretty much Anthony is going ahead and teaching you. I'll be hopping in with my input, and we'll take it from there. So Anthony, if I can I toss over the screen to you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. So I'm going to go, and there's the screen. I'll be here listening in, and let's go ahead and rock and roll.
All right. Can everyone give me a 2 in the chat box if you can see my screen? Just want to make sure everyone can see. Hey there, Sandra. Thank you. I just sent you that email about a half an hour ago. Good to hear from you. All right, cool. So I want to welcome you guys to Bootcamp number 2. I'm very, very excited because we're going to be going over some awesome stuff today. So with Bootcamp number 2, we're going to be going over long-form content and short-form content, which is something that I really want to stress about and something that we may be building on in the near future and something that I think is very, very valuable. So with that being said, I want to get this started. And I want to thank Dan for having me on here. It's a great Saturday morning. Hope you guys are all ready to learn. And now I want to start off by congratulating some more hard work. As you can see, we have Adrian, Gabby, Julian, all these people made huge progress with their e-commerce stores and really using the influencer model this past this past week. So as you can see, Adrian, 20 minutes in, $5 in ad spend. He had over $60 in revenue. And then Gabby, in the last 7 days, did over $700 in revenue. And then Julian, who I've been working very close with, he's always messaging me. With that being said, don't be shy to message me. I always message Julian back. We go back and forth for quite some time, just discussing things inside of his store and really in e-commerce in general, just, masterminding, brainstorming. So don't be shy to message me. I will always get back to you guys in a timely manner, and I'm always glad to be working with you and learning about what's going on inside of your store and really your business model as well. So as you know, I'm always here for you guys, ready to go over whatever you need. So don't be shy to message me or simply send me an email. So today I want to get into what we're going to be talking about. And that is, first things first, remember to check under weekly content. We have 3 new videos this week. It's going to be discounts in Shopify, creating ads for your influencers and contacting influencers. And do not forget, if you do have a video request, just send it to us. You could do this by emailing me. You could do this by sending me a simple message on Facebook. If you have something that you really want to see more in depth and really see that one-on-one guidance, I'm very willing to add that to the weekly content and create a video for you guys. So don't be shy in requesting that because I'll be more than happy to do so in order to help you guys out. So we're going to be discussing short form versus long form content. So what are they? What are the differences? So short form content, for example, if you are once you have set up your Instagram page and you are up and running, an example of short form content would be simple pictures. So this is something that someone would get a glance at. It's a quick impression. And long form would be, for example, a video explaining your brand. It's going to be more in depth, and it's really going to be engaging your customer and your audience more than a simple picture. So what are the perks of short form content? And that would very simply be building brand awareness. So just starting out, you're going to be posting a lot of pictures. We've gone over that. So this is good for the short attention span. You're planting the seed and you're building your footprint within your niche and within your business model. So what you're going to do is you're going to be posting pictures and you're going to be really building the short form content to build your brand awareness. This is typical on Twitter and Instagram. So I'm going to show you an example right here, just a good old short form content. So as you can see, Black Fashion, they posted this bracelet by North Skull. So it's telling them about North Skull and exactly where they can get it. So as you can see, they tag them. So people could click right through to North Skull and check out the rest of their products and everything that their brand has to offer. So That's just one quick example of short form. So just a simple picture and something that your influencer will be using. So this short and long form content can be given to your influencers, or you could be posting it yourself. Regardless, it's just the style and the way that you go about posting your content that you'd like to present to your audience at any given time. So what are the perks of long form, and a little bit more of what long form content is? This is good for building your long-term brand. You can do this by telling a story. A lot of people have done this through telling where their products are made, a story behind their product, founding maybe something that their customer can attach to. So this is really what's going to build that trust and that relationship between you and your audience. So this is something that you could be utilized via YouTube videos, Instagram videos, or even Snapchat. So if you are reaching out to an influencer, this is a more advanced technique. And let's say you do give them a sample of your product. This is something that they could do and utilize within their videos, and something that's more seamless. So you have to make sure that, there's a lot of steps that we're going to have to go over if you want to use long form content. But here's a quick example of long form. So here's a bodybuilder promoting a hoodie that his brand Golden Aesthetics is doing. So as you can see, this is a lot more comprehensive than a simple picture.
I need 100 black covers for 100 bad men, 100 black grapes so I can lay their ass. I need 100 black preachers with a black.
So as you can see, that goes on to display their product and really just get further into what the product is, rather than just posting a picture saying it's back in stock. So they got a videographer and they presented their product like people typically don't. So this is something that's going to be catching attention more so than a simple picture. Excuse me, guys, a little under the weather right now. So Sandra asks, where do you use each type? So you would be using either of these. You could use them on Instagram, but long form, you could definitely utilize that through a influencer's YouTube or Snapchat. So if you wanted to do this, you could have them create videos featuring your product. So when we went over sending them a gift or sending them a sample inside of the course, this is something that totally ties into it, because you could tell them to incorporate it into their brand and their streams or their timelines a different way, rather than just posting a picture. So this is something that you could look into if you were to pick up a sponsor for your brand. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to send them that sample and ask them to incorporate it into their videos, or maybe a Snapchat story, so on and so forth. Just something when you're building the relationship with these influencers that you've been looking around after. So now, long form content is not for everyone, so this is more of an advanced technique. The product truly has to be seamless. So this is good for like personal page influencers for the most part. And also, you're going to want to do this with U.S. fulfilled products. So if you have a fulfillment center, or you're paying someone to fulfill your orders so that your products aren't coming directly from China and in the e-packet package and whatnot with 2-3 weeks in shipping, that's definitely something you're going to want to square away before using long form content with an advanced influencer. And when you are looking for someone to fit into your brand for long form content, you have to look at them as a customer, because if there's something that goes into their timeline that is unnatural and seems like a given like pitch right away, and it's more of a commercial than something that they're just presenting to their audience, it's really not going to work out so well. So this is something that you're going to want to utilize with YouTube and Snapchat. So it's been proven through studies that YouTube and Snapchat and these videos from anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes, you're going to be getting more attention from the 18 to 34-year-old age range. So this is a great way to leverage a new network and how you're going to be utilizing this long-form content to get more attention, because it is proven that you're going to see a greater ROI once you create these 30-second, these 1 minute, or these 2 minute videos, really building a trust between your brand. And I'm going to be showing you a great example in the next slide. All right, so why else long-form content is so important? You have the capability to go viral. So this is a way for you to showcase confidence in your product and your brand, and something that really builds a real-life connection for your customer to your product itself. Because if it is a simple picture on a store online that they're just looking at it's really not going to build too much of a connection or too much trust between you and your customer. So here's an example that I had recently came across on Facebook myself. This is from a store called Wooden Shop. So I actually came across this very video myself while I was just scrolling through Facebook, because if you just take a look at how viral their video has gone by creating this video about their product. As you can see, they have 8.6 million views, 4,500 comments, and over 19,000 shares. So if you just take it in perspective, I mean, people on Facebook could have anywhere from 50 to a couple thousand friends on Facebook, and the fact that they have 19,000 shares, like, absolutely ridiculous. It's super just astounding. So I'm going to show you this video right now just so you get an idea of what some long-form content really looks like.
So when most people think of a battery phone case, they're probably thinking of something like this. Cheap, plastic, flimsy, it's like a brick in your pocket. This is what a battery phone case is supposed to look like. It's sleek, it feels great in your hand, it has a ton of battery power to your pocket. We're using a titanium bumper, which is extremely light, you can barely tell it's there, but it's also extremely durable. We use a very high-end lithium-ion battery, so it almost doubles your battery life with almost adding no weight to the phone. Most battery phone cases don't use lightning ports, but we wanted to make sure that we did. The reason for this is we can charge the phone and the case at the same time. Most battery cases make you buy a headphone extender if you want to be able to use your headphones in the product. Not ours. We put it all the way up to the bevel so you can just plug and play. We're super excited about these cases. We think they're better than anything else on the market. You can go to shopwooden.com today and buy it.
All right, so as you can see there, the people from Wooden, and you can look this up yourself on Facebook, WUDN, this guy was able to present his product, tell a story about his product, and the background. Like an example would be like, all right, well, we have this titanium bumper, which is better than anything else in the market. So now he's really just exuding all of this confidence about his product and why you need to buy it and why his product is the best compared to others. So he's really making his product stand out compared to the competitors, because we know that there are hundreds of thousands of phone cases out there. So why should we buy this Wooden one right here? Because it's clearly the best iPhone battery case, which isn't going to make your phone clunky, and it has a great titanium barrier. It's not going to mess up your phone. You don't need to buy an extra port for you to use your headphone jack. He just listed off perk after perk and exuded so much confidence in his product, and is really building this connection with his audience and his customer base. And honestly, if I was in the market for something like this, I would feel 100% comfortable going to his shop and buying that phone case from them right now, because I see of how much really confidence he has in his product, and it just makes me trust his brand a lot more from a consumer standpoint. So I hope you guys really got an idea of what that kind of long-form content is and exactly why it's so important. So now I want to continue here. If you guys do want future videos on long-form content, if you can just put a 3 in the chat box right now, because I'm not going to be going over it in any more depth for now, because I'm not sure if everyone is ready to use long-form content. So if you guys want me to create more videos on long-form content and exactly how to start utilizing it, just throw a 3 in the chat box. I want to really gauge exactly where everyone is at. I see a couple people hopped on a bit late here, so you might have missed a bit, but no worries. You'll be able to catch everything in the replay because it is being all recorded and it will be under weekly content. And Sandra, you still don't know how to use Snapchat or Twitter, but that's not a problem, Sandra. You know what? It is super, super easy to use. It's very easy to catch on to. At first, it is a bit difficult for people, but the idea of Twitter and Snapchat is it's a pretty easy idea to grasp. I got to say, just take a leap and give it a shot. And if anything, refer to YouTube if you're not sure how to use any of the features, because that's a great way to a great source of reference if you're not sure how to utilize a social media platform such as Snapchat or Twitter. So other stuff I wanted to go over today would be promoting your posts on Instagram. So you do this through Facebook or the Instagram app itself, and you can create your ad sets inside of Facebook or Instagram. So I wanted to go over exactly how to do this. So if you do have a simple picture that you wanted to be pushed out to more people, now yes, this is going to be a sponsored post. It's not going to be a seamless influencer marketing model, but it is more traffic, and that's why we're going to value it. So it's something to supplement. So as you can see, once you are inside of the Instagram app, and if you see a picture, let's say you click on a picture, this is one of mine from my Instagram. As you can see, add me on Snapchat, by the way. You just have to click this little promote button down here, and then it's going to take you over here to build your audience. So you can name your ad set and also change the gender, the age, and the interest, the locations. So over here you can add all the interests. If you're already familiar with Facebook ads, it's really the same way. But with this, you could utilize it inside of the Instagram app. Now, I highly recommend going into Facebook and creating your audience beforehand, and then you could just utilize it straight from your Instagram app once you connect your Instagram app account to your Facebook account, because they're intertwined and they work together. So you'll be able to build your audience inside of Facebook if you'd like, and then you could go ahead and start promoting your posts on Instagram, just as simple as this with a few clicks of a button, because your audience will already be saved. But as you can see, we could add 4 to 10 interests here if we were just going through the Instagram app. And what I wanted to talk to you guys about is, all right, so we're going to be supplementing our influencer ads with our regular paid ads. So this would be more traffic, more impressions, and more awareness for a brand. And as we know, there's nothing negative about that, because traffic, impressions, and awareness is going to be building our brand. So yes, not going to be as seamless, but it's going to be a huge asset in helping us build, because when we're first starting out, there's nothing wrong with more and more traffic. So we're going to go over how to find a paying audience. So how are we going to find a paying audience? What do I mean by this? So this is people that are willing, that you know are willing and able to open up their wallets and punch in their credit card for a product that is related to yours. So for example, we're going to be looking at memberships and subscriptions for people online. So when we're setting up our interests, we're going to just do some homework on the internet right now. We're going to go over the shoulder onto Safari, and I'm going to be showing you exactly how we're going to be looking this up. So we could do this in Audience Insights in Facebook, and this is a good way to pitch our long form content as well. So if we did want to post a video on Instagram, we could post one like up to a minute, and it could contain a quick pitch on what your product is. So just as you saw with the wooden cases, there's no reason that you can't order a sample of your product and do that for your own brand. So we're going to be finding this paying audience, and this is how we can target pages and interests that are not influencers, but we're going to be hitting the audience that will most likely be interested in what you have to offer. So for example, we could hit audiences that are interested in certain subscriptions or magazines, but those clearly aren't influencers, but we could really just tap into that audience by using these paid ads. So it's time for us to do some research here. And now we're going to go into Safari right now. I'm going to show you an example of how we would do this. So if someone wants to just drop their niche into the chat box, I'd appreciate it, just so we have something to work off of. I would rather do that and help someone out in finding something to target rather than just do a random topic. All right, Sandra, jewelry. Now that's a good point. See, jewelry is more so a category, unless you focus on a certain type of jewelry. And I know, Dan, if you're still at your computer right now and you didn't step away, you could definitely chime in on that. But jewelry is more so a category, because everyone wears jewelry. That's like saying that like a T-shirt is a niche. I mean, everyone wears T-shirts, so it's more so a category. So if you focus down into a certain type of jewelry rather than just saying jewelry, then that's more so a niche than jewelry itself as a whole, because everyone wears jewelry. Now you got to like tap into certain bracelets or necklaces, something along those lines. Now Bhupinder, for example, he just put in Star Wars T-shirt. So yes, it's a certain type of T-shirt. So that is something that is more focused. Dan, you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna start doing some research on how to find a paying audience on Instagram and Facebook and whatnot.
So you're right. I do want to chime in on this. A lot of people, they go after, and I see this happen all the times when we're going out there, when I'm working with people and they have like, really hard times, and then we get them to that 6-figure mark in their store. it's a really big pivotal point because a lot of people, they target in the beginning, they go after, exactly what you said. For example, dogs, jewelry. They'll go after for necklaces, etc. That's all still too broad. And I was working with somebody the other day, and they came here to my place of living, and I said, these necklaces are great, but you're targeting the world with these. I was like, it'll be really easy to sell once you go ahead and pinpoint an audience that wants to buy it. Because once you have an audience, you have your moneymaker, and then you can worry about trying to get everybody else in that big specific, category that you're in. Same thing with yoga. All right. I saw somebody type this the other day. They said, "Damn, I'm niched down really deep into yoga." And I said that, well, what's the niche? They said yoga. I said, okay, what's the niche inside of yoga? They said yoga. I was like, oh no, that's too broad. That still does not work. The reason being is because in yoga, if you go and Anthony, just search different types of yoga for me, all right, in Google, and I just want to make this point very clear. There's so many different things that you can tap into, and literally yoga is another one. So if you go ahead, Anthony, search different types of yoga, not just yoga. Because again, yoga and meditation, if you go to one of these places, they're going to offer you tons of different yoga. So there's a type of yoga. There's 9 types of yoga to try. There's hot yoga, hatha, etc. There's so many different forms of yoga, and that's something that a lot of people can tap into. Just like dogs, there's tons of different forms of dogs. So when I went out into the dog niche, I didn't say, hey, this is for your dog. I talked to my audience and I said, hey, this is for your pit bull. Hey, this is for your German shepherd. This is for your pug, etc. And it'll be a lot easier for you to sell. I can take the same item, right, and sell it across the entire internet, pretty much going out there and pinpointing different dogs. So I can literally go out there and take one specific item, let's say for a collar, and I can go ahead and pretty much advertise it to pit bull lovers and pug lovers, etc. So again, I'm not only in one type of niche. I can take a product and really sell it as I'm looking for to sell it inside of that niche. I hope that makes sense. So just because it's a collar doesn't mean you can't go out there and not sell it to everybody who owns a dog. Rather, my positioning would be, hey, you have a pit bull, hey, you have a pug, hey, you have whatever kind of dog, you have a German shepherd, have this leash. So I'll go ahead and micro target it. But again, you might have a lot more success just going out there and advertising to everybody with dogs. And that's the whole point of going out there and really testing. So yeah, I'll leave it off at that one. That's my input on it.
Thanks, Dan. So what we're going to be doing here, so if we are looking for certain audiences to target on by way of like interest, on whether it's on Facebook or using the Instagram app. So let's say that we were in, all right, I like all right, this one right here, survival. So Edgar put that in. So let's look up Survival Magazine. Let's do Survival Magazine subscription. So, as you can see, if we look around for a bit, no, not there. All right, survivalist.com. All right, let's see if they have a paid subscription, for example. See if there's anywhere that they would be checking out, for example. All right, so yes, here. So it's normally $7.95, and they're paying $4.49 each. So yes, that's not a lot of money, but if you are in the survivalist niche, for example, like I've went over a few stores that some of our IMA students have been trying to build, and theirs is based around survival, and they offered a lot of camping products, so on and so forth. But if this is a Facebook audience now, if we're going to look into Facebook right now, we could go to our audience insights. So survivalists, my point here is that people are paying for survivalists. And now, if they're paying for the Survivalist magazine, that means their wallet is already open and they're willing to pay for something inside of this niche. So regardless of it only being $4 or $5, this is a great starting point because you know that the people interested in this are very willing and able to pay for this exactly what it is. So we're going to go over here into the audience insights.
Anthony, this is huge what you just touched on, and a lot of people they don't actually realize this. The best thing for anybody to do to ever find out if people are spending money in a niche is go out there and see if your competitors are selling newsletters, if they're selling other products, etc. If they are, a lot of people think competition is the worst thing possible. The best thing you can ever do is make sure your niche has competition. And I really started to cover this extensively in the little kind of step-by-step guided designs that I've put out there. And a lot of people have been thanking me for that. And one of the keys is to make sure there's competition. And a lot of people think to themselves, what do you mean that, there's competition? Well, competition is a great freaking thing. Competition is something you absolutely want to make sure is there. Now, competition, I'm talking about, 500 different stores all selling the same thing. That's different. If you have, maybe 50 to 100 different type of locations all selling various different items, that's a good sign. But if you have, one specific item being sold by 500 to 1,000 different stores, that's completely different. And again, competition is healthy. Competition is very, very healthy. So never shy away just because there's competition. There's always more room in the market for somebody else.
Yeah, absolutely. So now if we did look up something, for example, like survivalism here in our audience insights, which is a very, very important tool to utilize. If you aren't utilizing it already, I highly suggest that you get into Facebook and get into your ads manager and start using your audience insights tool because this is a great way to do background research for your paid ads to supplement your influencer ads. So what we're going to be focusing on here is the top 10 categories. So now we're going to look around here. So we have Ammo Canman LLC. Let's see what this is about. We'll just open up a few tabs. So we have Survivalist Daily here. This is an interest with 159,000 likes. Ammo Canman, here's no 133,000 likes. And here is Apple Creek Whitetails Ranch with over 1 million likes. So if we can find a URL right here. All right, looks like they have stores. So let's go ahead and all right, looks like they're selling stuff. So here is another one. It's a store. So let's try to find something that people subscribe to, like a subscription magazine. And let's see what we could look through here. So community organization, reference, community. Here, let's look into the community here. Ballistic Radio. All right, so let's take a look into what they're posting exactly. So it looks like it's all about the survivalist and gun ranges and shooting. So this is something, if it's related to your niche, you could definitely tap into with the audience insights. So what we're going to be doing here is, let's go back to, all right, so this is survivalist. Let's see if we can find this on Facebook audience insights right here. No, I guess it doesn't have a big enough audience on Facebook, so let's go back and keep looking in that Google search that we had. No, not what we're looking for. All right, let's see if we have anything else that's. We got a question here. Okay, Sandra, I just saw that comment here on different categories of jewelry in your store. For sure, I totally understand that. So that's good that you have that and you're more focused down. Let's look up a golf magazine. All right, so golf.com. So as you can see, people that are interested in golf.com, they have to pay for their subscription for their magazine. So let's go over to the audience insights and let's see if we could find something. Let's see if Golf Magazine has a interest page big enough and a big enough audience on Facebook. All right, so 900,000 to 1 million monthly active people in this audience. So as you can tell, that's a pretty big audience. And then you can see all the related pages. So here's golf.com, which I think is what we were on right here. Yep. So if we are building our audience insights and we are building our ad, golf.com could very well be something that we want to build off of in our paid advertisements when we're using the Instagram app, as I'd shown over here. When we're adding our interest, so if you're building this ad inside of Instagram itself, or you're preparing your ad set inside of Facebook in the ad creator that we are in right now, if you go over here, you can go to the top and you can create an ad. Golf.com is something that you're going to want to target because you already have that group of people that are already willing and able to open up their wallets and pay for this product. So that's something that you totally want to take advantage of, and definitely just create a Excel spreadsheet of and list off your certain interests that you could target through Facebook and Instagram, and be able to tap into these audiences and throw your product in front of them. And you could totally do this with long form content to try to grab people's attention a bit more than you would be with just regular old pictures, because people are so used to seeing that and will simply scroll by that much easier than you normally would with a video, for example, if it's something that you're very, very interested in. So if you are an avid golfer and you are very dedicated to buying golf products and whatnot, if you do come across a golf video, you're very likely going to stop and watch it, rather than if it was just a simple picture that they scroll past on social media. So, Dan, do you have any comments on this right here, with what we're talking about, if you're there?
Yeah, comments on what exactly?
Well, just tapping into these paying audiences and then building off of that with these long-form ads.
Well, yeah, it's pretty much exactly what you kind of summed it up, is just tap into it. The number one thing you want to do is make sure you're always diversifying. You don't want to limit yourself into pretty much only having one particular way that you can go out and make money. So golf.com, people pay millions and billions of dollars every year for golf. So golf is a great example. There's also a never-ending possibility of golf stuff that you can tap into. So when it comes to golf and other niches as well, you really have to look for other ways to tap into it. And diversification. I think, Tony, that that's exactly what you're trying to talk about, is going out there and branching out as well. And Facebook Audience Insight is something you want to make sure you tap into. But here's the thing: I think the best way, if you really want to look and really want to dive in, it's really the best to go out on Instagram and click on that little button where people drop down. So, for example, what you do with Audience Insight is you can find, for example, a title list. If you see, go back to the Audience Insight, Tony. And check this out. So title list. You see where it says title list under Golf Channel? So I have no idea. What that is. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, it's a golf brand.
Okay, cool. I had no idea who they are. So what I would do is I take title list and go to Instagram and see if they had a decent following, and then I click on the drop down button to see exactly who might be an influencer that I can tap into from that specific page. So I'm kind of going to piggyback off of them, but that's given if they have okay, cool, yeah. So they do have one. So
yep, almost 400,000 followers. They're a pretty big brand.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So you can just keep on going. Seems like there's a lot of different
golfers. This is a very official page. It's just really for their brand as a whole. I mean, it's going to be hard to find influencers, because really everyone under here is
like a little celebrity.
Golfers. And also other brands.
Yeah, there's a lot more celebrities.
Here we got Golf Addicts, Golf Porn Official.
Yeah, so what I would do is just go #golf and then really look into it even deeper. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Golf Addicts. There you go.
Yeah.
So that's something you can definitely tap into. That's without a doubt.
Yeah.
But again, that's how I'd go ahead and that's how I'd kind of utilize it. But same thing with Facebook. Here's the thing: I'd still go and try to find influential Facebook pages and try and contact them.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the thing about Facebook, the beauty of that is that you have that share button, which is way, way easier to make content go completely viral. So if you do have a nifty product and you do want to like show it off in a really cool way with the long form content such as a video, the thing is that can't be done on Instagram, is that people could go ahead and share that with their entire friend group on Facebook if it's something that really catches their attention or like really wows them. And the best part is that it could just keep growing and growing just like exponentially from all the people sharing it. So if you are able to put together a cool video of your product, I think that really could help leaps and bounds and really helping your product grow and go more viral than you would really ever expect it to do. So I think that creating that video is a very, very good way to start with your long form content. So what are today's takeaways from what we've gone over? And that will be always keep expanding to think outside of the box. Definitely can't be a cookie cutter because we're going to be unique with long form content, and this is a great way to separate ourselves from competition. And paying traffic is the best traffic. So people that are willing to open up their wallets and finding these paying audiences that are willing to break out their credit card and pay for similar products is the best way to align your products with these very people, and you can do that with paid traffic or influencer ads as anyone else would. So, Bhupinder, could you find any influencers to boost your posts on their Facebook pages? Yeah, if you do connect with someone on Facebook that does have a great pull, and let's say if they are inside your niche, you can request for them to share your post on Facebook. Because, as you know, we are also building a Facebook page for our social media accounts as well as our Instagram pages. So it's just another facet of social media that we utilize in order to help build our brand and keep growing and growing. And I think Facebook is something that is very good to start utilizing for long-form content, especially just because of that good old share button, which is super, super helpful and helping us go viral and helping our brand grow quicker than ever. So if anyone has any questions right now, I'd love to answer them and go through them. So if you do have a question, just throw it in the chat box. I'm here to answer it right now. We have plenty of time to go ahead and knock that out if you guys do have any questions, regardless of what it has to do with your influencer accounts, your Instagram page, Facebook page, social media in general, creating your ads. Let me know. We can go over it right now, and I'll be willing to help any of you out with that. No problem, Bhupinder. All right, I see a few people hopping on here late. If anyone, we are over at question and answer right now. If anyone has any general questions regarding to IMA, building their Instagram account, creating ads, so on and so forth, just throw it in the chat box whenever you're ready. As far as pricing, all right, so Sandra asked a question regarding pricing, what you will sell something for and what the comparison is. So, for example, your competitors, definitely take a look into related pages that are also in the same niche as you and are also selling products. Maybe they are selling the very same products, or maybe they're selling just very similar ones and are in the same niche. You're going to want to get a feel for, especially the successful stores of brands that you could tell are very well built up upon, and exactly what they're doing and exactly what their price point is. So you could try to find a sweet spot. But as far as pricing, and always keeping in mind as a good businessman or businesswoman, that your profit margin has to be there, as well as really just finding the sweet spot. You just got to do some testing and see exactly if that price point is going to be swaying your audience to really pull the trigger on your product or not. Is there a general rule of how many conversions one should get for traffic to your site? No, not necessarily. It really varies between different stores and really different audiences. But you're going to want to see, I mean, obviously if your conversions are low, that means that something should be tweaked, whether it's your price point, whether it's your product presentation, your ads. Something just needs to be tweaked a bit. Bhupinder, so if you would like to look into that, definitely just put yourself in your customer's shoes and see if there's anything in your store that would turn them away or make them feel less confident from purchasing, whether it could be a high shipping price or a lack of description for a certain product, really anything from A to Z that could turn them away from purchasing and being confident in purchasing your product. So I'd say the best thing, if you're not sure why your conversions aren't where you expect them to be, I would say put yourself in your customer's shoes. Always get an outside perspective from someone else. Tell them, check out my store. Tell me what you think. If you were an honest buyer and you were to come into my store, what would you say is something that is good and something that is bad? Taking that constructive criticism and building off of that is something that is very, very valuable and something that could very well help you get an outside perspective. Because when you do build your store, it's your baby. It's something that you've worked on. It's something that you're proud of, and maybe you don't see that outside perspective of something that could be wrong with it. So you do need someone else to really point that out, because something that you think is great might not be good for everyone. Because as you know, it's not all about us. It is about our customers and people coming into our store. Hey, Olga. All right, so you run a gift shop, and can you cover 6 to 8 niches, or is it too many? Now, if you do have a flex or general store like Olga, it can absolutely work. There is nothing wrong with it, and if you wanted to go ahead and target certain influencers by pitching them only certain products in your store, you could absolutely do that. Now, if you are trying to build that brand, I think it's much more better if you focus on one certain niche and you double down on it, especially if it's working for you right now. I'm a huge advocate of finding what works and doubling or tripling down and moving with that, and keep investing into that by way of paid ads and influencer ads and so on and so forth. So if you are using a general store, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. General stores can very well be profitable, but me personally, I like to focus on a single niche and double down on it if it is working, and building that up, because I think it's a good way to build up a brand and really have people remember you for something specific. Because if they are remembering you for selling, let's say, wallets, and then you're also selling, I don't know, speakers and maybe laptop stands, just different areas of products, it's going to be hard for them to remember you for something specific and become a loyal customer and know, well, you know what, Olga's store is perfect for buying the speakers that I want for my home, or something portable that I really like to have. So I like doubling down on something that works and something that I can become known as a reliable source for. What is it that we should avoid on Facebook? Given the demo and visual nature of Instagram's audience, are there any niches that we should avoid that usually work on Facebook? Not necessarily. I think that if you see that a certain niche is profitable across the board, then there's really no reason to avoid it. If it is succeeding on Facebook, there's no reason it shouldn't be succeeding on Instagram as well. So definitely don't be shy on that. And no problem, Defender. Glad I could help on that. So if anyone else has any last questions, feel free to throw them into the chat box. I'm ready to answer away. All right, so all right, Sandra has a good question here. As far as IG, should we build a page for the entire store and then one for each category? So if you do have niches inside of your store, I'd say keep it to one Instagram page, ideally, unless you do have a flex store and you have very different niches that separate one another. Let's say you have these micro stores, pretty much micro niches inside of your store. Sorry, not micro niches. If you do have these different, very different niches inside of your store, maybe you want to consider building off certain Instagrams that umbrella under your main store as a whole. So I'd say definitely work on building your Instagram accounts for a single entire store. That's definitely more ideal, because then all of your efforts are going to be built up into one, because I would rather have one Instagram account of 3,000 followers than 3 Instagram accounts of 1,000 followers, because it's just going to be much more effective. So, you know what? I want to get back into long-form content. So other ways that you could utilize long-form content would very well be having influencers utilize Snapchat. So Snapchat is something that is very underutilized by way of reaching out to influencers, because as we know, we touch on the course, that you could get these paid ads through Instagram and so on and so forth. But if you do give them a product, you could propose something such as having them feature it in their Instagram story, maybe explaining a bracelet that you sent to them from your store and giving the background of what you're offering. So using Instagram stories, Snapchat stories, or even YouTube. YouTube is a great way to tap into the audience, especially from the ages of 18 to 34, because they are much more attentive to YouTube and Snapchat, as it's much more interactive and going to send you a much greater ROI and greater conversions when you're utilizing something like that for that age set and that age group. So I think that creating videos and really just building this content around your brand is something that's going to really build that trust and bridge the gap between you and your customer base. As we had went over that previous video on Facebook, I think that was something that was astounding and really caught my attention. And I remember that Wooden was a case that that put together a great product and showing something that's completely different, because all of these charger cases that I've seen are typically super clunky, very big, and they take up so much space in your pocket. And that's why I've never purchased one. But once I did see Wooden's case, I thought that it was super impressive on how much smaller they were able to make this charger case, and how effective of a product and branding they were able to put together with that very video. As you saw, they had millions of hits on it just from putting together a short, I'd say it was probably a minute long Facebook video that was able to grab anyone's attention, really, because the phone case itself, that applies to so many people. Their audience is absolutely massive. I mean, I really can't think of a number to put on it of how many people you could hit with a effective iPhone case, considering how many people own an iPhone. So I think that is a great way that they went about building their brand and really going over their product and exactly everything that goes into it. Ola asked a quick question. So she's having difficulty customizing a theme for her Shopify store. So can she turn it to an Upwork designer? Yes, you can do that, Olga. If you cannot figure it out, also refer to YouTube. YouTube is a great.
You know what you're doing now? We are going ahead and using Ecom Plug. We are using Ecom Plug. Forget Upwork is a thing of the past. Everyone's got to go to Ecom Plug because, again, it's an e-commerce related marketplace. You know, the whole point was. I mean, obviously we don't have everything on there, but I think, you know, the whole reason, as to why I created it, I have everybody that I need on there right now. So a lot of people, my videographers on there and everything. So yeah, guys, anybody who needs small tasks done, I would suggest using Ecom Plug. And yeah, going ahead and using that. Upwork is also viable. Use what you feel is better or what you feel comfortable with, or what I suggest. Obviously, I'm very unbiased to this as well, but Ecom Plug is, I created it specifically to have everybody centralized in one location, because obviously I know what it takes in order to go ahead and have proper freelancers. But not only that, I wanted to go and make sure that I had a little bit more control, because I hate the freaking people who promise the world don't deliver enough as, freelancers and whatnot. So I like to, kind of just kick those people off of a platform, and I can't do that on Upwork and whatnot. When I get really annoyed when they say, yeah, I can do everything. When time comes to it, they really can't do anything. So yeah, so yeah.
Good point, Dave.
Can you go ahead and type it into the browser, please?
Yeah, I was gonna say, would you like me to pull it up?
Yeah.
All right. So, would you like me to log in, Dan?
No, it's fine. You can just go into the Shopify section of it.
Okay.
All right. And pretty much that's a marketplace that you can go ahead and tap into. So yeah. So just wanted to throw that out there, because I know a lot of people ask, where's the best place to go? Ecomplug. That's it. There's more listings down there as well. If you click on find, or if you go to the bottom of it, scroll down.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great source, because there's really nothing that is focused specifically on e-commerce. So I think that Ecomplug was a huge asset for anyone inside of Shopify, BigCommerce, WooCommerce. I mean, just e-com as a whole, people just really needing help, because not everything can be done on your own, and you just may need a helping hand if it's something that's a bit tricky to figure out, or something that you would like to help take your store to the very next level that you really couldn't do on your own. So Ecomplug is a huge platform that's going to be very effective. If you do need help with a certain gig, you can go ahead and post it, and someone can go ahead and take up your job that you do post for. So whether it is like Olga's request on creating, on editing her Shopify theme very effectively, you could easily just post that onto Ecomplug, and you can get that done for really not too much money. Upwork, you may get overcharged, because a lot of those people are going to charge you a lot. But you know what? I think on Ecomplug, you'll be able to find someone that's really affordable, and something that will be able to get your job done. You're totally secure that your work is going to be done, because of contracts that are placed with the people that you're working with to get the job done.
Exactly. Sandra says, wow, this really solves my design problems better than Fiverr. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what we set it up for. I needed a centralized location. And I decided I'm tired of using everybody else's, I'm creating my own. And that is how Ecomplug was born. So yeah, we even have a section on there for Instagram. It's literally right next to Shopify. And it's funny, because a lot of people don't really understand who I actually brought into the Instagram. Anthony, if you can, click on Instagram. Because I really want to talk about this, obviously, since this is not Instagram, the category inside of Ecomplug.
Oh, the Instagram category inside of Ecomplug. My bad.
All right, so essentially, there's a cell that I have in here. If we scroll down, okay, so you see like shout out on instructions, Inventastic, Shower Thoughts Daily, etc. This person right here is actually the person who managed the Kim Kardashian campaign when she released her app and whatnot. He got thousands and thousands of millions of people. I think it was like 300 or 400 million people to go and look impressions in a certain time period. All right, so I decided, let's put him on a platform. Let's have everybody go ahead and access him. It's kind of funny, because not a lot of people utilize him. It's also because not a lot of people know exactly who he is and what he offers. These are just 3 of his pages. And I think, that post that he posted September 9th, it was literally, if you look on instructions, it had 4.1 million reach, meaning 4.1 million people saw it. And the impressions 4.8 million, which is pretty cool. So the engagement is here. I mean, this is something that I go ahead and use. Like I said, I built this marketplace for me, and it just so happens if other people want to tap into it, they can. And this is somebody down here who is, if you really want to go ahead and kind of shortcut everything, this is somebody to keep looking up to. So yeah, I'm
talking about these 3 down here.
What?
Talking about these 3 posts down here.
Yeah. Those 3 in particular, I know. are Adrian's, and I told Adrian I need you to kind of go ahead and start listing everything for me on the platform, so I can just keep buying and buying and buying, so I don't have to keep contacting you. You'll just get notifications, and he was like, all right, fine. And so that's pretty much why I created the marketplace in the first place, was to get all my influencers in one place and allow people, my customers and whatnot, and people following me, to go ahead and access them as well. So I kind of just centralized it all. So this is kind of, the backstory as to what I did over here on this marketplace.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was brilliant, and thanks, Dan, because now everyone could find everything that they need for their Shopify, their Instagram, just anything in e-commerce. I think it's a great source in order to get things done. If you really just don't have the time, or you're just not too tech savvy and you're not really sure how to get something a little bit more advanced done and out of the way that is going to help your Shopify store and your business as a whole, you could just go right over to ecomplug.com. So, yeah, thank you, Dan.
Yeah, of course.
So, last 5 minutes here. If anyone else has any other questions, definitely feel free to ask away now, as we're going to be winding down in a minute or two. So let's see if anyone has any questions. And regarding Ecomplug, anything that we went over in the slides today, long form, short form content, creating ads, discounts inside of Shopify, just let me know. Or if, Dan, if you have anything that you'd like to say in a closing statement to wrap things up.
The closing statement. I actually do have a few things to say. How many people in the chat box, give me a show of ones, have actually taken action, have a store up, etc.? I'm very curious here. Who's moving, any type of movement. I don't care what it is. I want to know who here is moving and who here feels like they're stuck. Give me a 2. All right, give me a 2 if you feel like you're stuck. Give me a 1 if you're moving. All right, so for those of you that are stuck, right? For those of you that feel stuck, there's absolutely no reason whatsoever. There's no reason whatsoever why you should be stuck. I mean, again, we're here on these workshops. If you ever feel stuck, what I need you to do is go ahead and take out a notepad, start writing questions down as to what you're feeling stuck on. Obviously, you have this course at your disposal. You have us at your disposal as well, where you can reach out to us. You have the luxury of being able to do that. What you need to do is make sure you're taking full advantage of that. So if you're not taking full advantage of this comes back to you and how bad you want it. So we're giving you everything you need, but we need to make sure, and I want to make sure that you're going out there and actually taking advantage of it. So again, obviously ending off here, I just want to say, go ahead and utilize this. And I say this every single workshop that we have. It's because, again, it truly is one of those things where a lot of people don't utilize it. Those that do utilize it absolutely see incredible results. So I'm going to go ahead and just, pretty much leave it here. All right.
Quick thing for Olga. She asked to open another Instagram account. Does she need to do it on another phone? No, you can do it on one phone if you are on the Instagram app on your phone and you click on the settings, which is the last button on the bottom right once you're looking at your phone, and you scroll all the way down to the very last group of options. You can see add account. It's right above logging out. So you could add another Instagram account and you could switch in between them and flip-flop in between them just on one device. So that's the simplicity of Instagram. You definitely don't need to go ahead and use it on another device to create another account. So I just want to answer that there so that gets squared away. So other than that, Dan, do you have anything else before we wrap things up?
Nope, that's pretty much it.
All right, awesome.
Awesome, everybody. Thanks for coming out here today. Again, our pleasure having this, and everybody keep on moving, keep making moves. Go out there and just start learning and making more money, etc. All these videos that Anthony keeps coming out with, he's literally just coming to me saying, Dan, I'm putting out more and more videos for everybody. And I'm like, this is great. I go in and watch them. I still learn. Because the more you learn, it's kind of cliche to say, but the more you learn, the more you earn. And it's so true. So just keep learning, just keep implementing, keep testing, and keep on going. Don't ever give up. The number one thing that will make sure that you never, ever go out and see any results with is if you just give up from the get-go. So again, guys, thanks so much for coming out here today. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you on the next workshop. My name is Dan DeSilva. On behalf of Anthony and all the IMA team, we are super excited to see you here, and we look forward to seeing you again on our next workshop. So I'll catch you guys.